such as and some whatnots. We talk about lots of things here, predominantly about the market. Today we're joined by the Binda. We are joined by Stonkington and myself, Hell's Bells. Binder, how was your weekend?
Oh, it was good. It was good. It was busy, but it was good.
Did you figure out the Matrix?
Yeah, I worked on it quite a bit, but yeah, yeah, I got some good stuff. I think that I'll be sharing throughout the day.
Awesome. Excellent to hear. I saved two hummingbirds this weekend. They flew into the house. I
Yeah,
was able,
they flew into the house.
they flew into the house.
Interesting. And how did you save these hummingbirds?
Got to wait till they get all tuckered out. Got to build a relationship with them. Got to be like, hey, man, it's cool. I'm here to help you. I am here to get you back to the world that you know because you don't know any of this inside thing
You
going on
have
here.
said before that you do believe you can have conversations with animals, which
I do.
is kind of. I feel like you probably talk to trees and flowers and grass and
I
animals, and
I
these
do.
are
I talk to
very,
trees. Yeah.
yeah.
No, I had apologized. No, you bring up a good point. There was this 30-foot, 35-foot tree that was sitting there that I was like, I got to take you down, man. So I had to talk to him beforehand and explain to him that it's not something that I want to do. I'm not like, oh, I want to kill you. It's something that just it kind of needs to be done. But yeah, no, it took that guy out this weekend. But I had a conversation with him before, told him how much I appreciated, all the time that he spent on this land before I got here, and really appreciate all of it. And then yeah, no, it's like had to get that chainsaw blaring, no doubt.
It's quite
Does this make you feel
interesting.
weird?
It's just interesting. Yeah. Well,
Oh
I got
man.
to spend the weekend putting up fences, so that was fun.
Yeah. Oh, what else did I do? I changed a plumbing fixture, a bathroom fixture. Like took the old little faucet thingy out and put a new one in. But nobody told me at any point that I needed this stuff called plumber's putty. So after I got it all done and put together and turned it on, I had water going everywhere.
I
I did
was
not
really hoping
realize
you
that
were
plumber's
gonna
putty was an
say.
actual
I
thing.
was hoping that you were gonna say that nobody told you you had to turn the water off.
Unbelievable, man. But you live and learn. The
Yeah,
plumber's putty.
yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. Anyways. Okay, so Bender, here we are. Um, Here we
Indeed.
are. Just before we get into here we are, want to say a couple of quick things. I'm gonna post this. This is my own selfless promotion, so you guys know. This is where I'll be posting my write-ups from now on Substack. You can go ahead and click and subscribe, and you'll be able to get it emailed directly to you. This is my breakdown on the current environment where we are. Now, with this being said, I think it's very, very important that we have a strong understanding that this shit will not be easy for bull or bear. They're not going to allow you to set it and forget it one way or the other. Just not going to be something that happens. We are coming into a shitstorm over the next several months that is going to push the market every which way. The biggest mistake that you can make is ultimately deciding I know what's going to be going down and playing that direction for the next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, sometimes even the next 3 hours. This is about being nimble. This environment that we're entering now is one that we must be nimble. Must. So, with that being said, Bender, what levels do you have for us on this fine day?
Yeah. All right. Well, pull up the my notes here. So we are currently sitting at 4026. This area right here, 4025, is the 10 MA on the 60 minute, and there's a fib at 4023. So this area right in here, call it 4020 to 4025. You got the 10 MA and that fib. right in here. We got below that, obviously 4,000 being the whole number. It's also the bottom of a long-term parallel channel. I'll post that chart, the daily. But this is essentially the channel that was created pre-COVID high to the COVID low. If you draw that as a parallel channel, you will see that it creates trendline resistance that has been respected all along the way, and we gave that trendline support up previously, and then reclaimed it and used it as support. We're right back at that level, so that's right about 4,000.
Did you post this chart?
I haven't yet. I said I'll post it. I have not
Okay.
posted it yet, but I'm about to. And then below that, I've got 3987 was a previous trend line that has acted as support and resistance. So I will post that. Above, we've got, okay, so now I got to modify this because I had the 4123 is the 50 MA on the 60 minute. Oh, sorry, yeah, 4123. So obviously we got the whole number of 4,100. There's some levels, in between. I'll give you some more, and I'll post those. But there are some levels in between 4036 being one of them. But let's say 41. Let's say until we get 4,100, the chart is still sort of guilty for now. Above that, you got 4123 is the 50 MA on the 60 minute, which, when you look at these moving averages and kind of where we are and how far below the 50 we are also not far off the lower Bollinger Band on the daily. So we're a little perhaps extended to the downside after that move on Friday. And if we do start to recover some of that, obviously the 50 MA as a moving target will move, but 4123 is where it sits right now. And then above that, we got 4154 was that level that we've been talking about for weeks being support and resistance. There's also a fib there. So, for me today, I want to see if these 4120s are going to hold. If not, then it's like, okay, let's see what they do with 4,000, and let that kind of set up the set up the day. Let me post
the setup is pretty interesting. It's like you can see that pre-market we've spent a lot of time bouncing off of 401 on SPY. It's like that's 401 bounce, 401 bounce is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and call it 4 to 5 times that we've come down and touched 401 and gotten a little bounce. I think your point as far as being oversold and extended to the downside, I think that is absolutely something that comes into play. And I think it also goes back to what I was saying at the open as far as that they're not going to make it easy. I think there is a mindset that a lot of people are walking into this morning. I got to get short. I got to get short. I got to sell. I got to get short. I got to sell. That mindset was Thursday and Friday.
Yeah.
Thursday and Friday that was the easy trade. That was the easy one. This is where it becomes difficult because when you get a condition like this on overbouncing, you get people crowding in short. If the money that actually matters decides to cover out and take profit on a move that they've been basically basing out since we were at 200 points ago, almost 300 points ago on SPY, that they've been positioned for this. They start peeling some of those profits, we'll get a move up. We'll get a little squeezable action and probably another area that to go short on. What we have to understand, and Ben and I have spent, last week we spent a little bit of time talking about the market and the cycles and that kind of stuff. We just came off of a cycle. We're now entering a new cycle. from the standpoint of what the action is as far as entering trades and taking profit when you're coming to being big money. The flow that we actually follow. These cats have been positioned since we were about 4:30, somewhere in there on SPY. Reposition. This area in through here is most logical for them to look to take profit and reposition for the next leg. And so I'm encouraging people to, when we approach these levels, it's like for me, I'm going to be sitting here staring down flow like an absolute mother. If we get down and we start popping this 401 to the downside, what does flow look like? Do we have any call flow? Do we have some bid side puts? Do we have anything like that? Likewise, on the other side, if we get into this 403, 403.50 area, same story. It's like, what are we seeing as we're approaching a level of resistance? Are we seeing calls coming in on the bid? Are we seeing call selling? Are we seeing those types of elements? That means like, no, we're not going to pop resistance. Also going to be very, very close in watching again. And this is where it becomes important to understand how symbiotic the relationship is between flow and charts. When we start coming up on these levels of resistance, what does the flow look like? What is the complexion? Are they selling calls knowing that we're going down? Are they buying leaps? Are they putting in hedges? What are they doing? These are the things that you have to pay attention to. It's it. A line on a chart is a line on a chart, right? What happens in and through there is based on the money and how the money wants to push one way or the other. The other thing, there are a couple of people that pointed out that last week on Thursday, that move to the upside, there was absolutely zero flow to support that. When you have money, when you have flow coming through and money coming through that does not support the price action, your spidey senses have to be absolutely off the charts. As far as, okay, something's going to happen, they're going to come trying to put something in somebody's butt. You have to be aware, and your sizing in those moments in time have to be very, very smart. Anyways, do you have anything else on that piece, Bender?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Stonkington?
Hello.
Paging Stonkington?
Good morning. I'm here. Let's see. So, this can just jump into some level stuff since we're on that topic. A little bit of drift down on some of the stuff that I have pulled up here. So, I'm going to keep an eye on coin. It's looking like this dark pool I had noted 65.61 is kind of working as pre-market resistance. So could maybe use that, when we like drift down like this, I will shift the triggers so that, the put trigger can then become the call trigger if we break above that. So 61.65 on coin, and then to the downside, looks like 64.50 was pre-market support. So see if we break that, if we're going to go down on coin. Had Neo on the list because of this dark pool that came in after hours on Friday at 1992 is decent size relative to Neo. So it already drifted below that. We could look to see if it breaks above. And then to the downside, Neo found some support at 1950 pre-market. Microsoft had an interesting dark pool. 268.09 after the close, 738 million on Microsoft, drifted below. So if we were to break, either that, or I also had a psychological line 267 flat, the upside. There's also a dark pool below if we're going to go down on Microsoft, 264.50. So that would be what I'm watching on those. Just a couple other ones to note. There was Adobe. I don't trade it a ton, but there was some decent size that came in dark pool at 381.02 on Adobe after the close, which also kind of lined up on a fib I had. But yeah, other than that, just going to kind of keep an eye on flow and see what we get.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Adobe. Adobe is without question one of those bellwether stocks. They report an off cycle against a lot of other players, and the flow in and around Adobe is very interesting. They've been selling out from underneath Adobe basically I'd say for probably about a week and a half now. Kind of just, you've seen a few too many bid side calls, a couple little puts here and there, just nothing big. It's like you never see massive money on Adobe, and when you do, it's very actionable. But Adobe in particular, because they're kind of off cycle in a lot of ways, the flow becomes very, very interesting, and it should be something that should be paid attention to. So if anybody sees Adobe flow come through that I happen to miss, please either scream it or DM it to me. Adobe is one of those very, very important tickers out there that don't get a lot of conversation, but very important to the overall tech world. Bender, this chart of yours over here, man, it's like they're not going to make it easy.
No, probably not. They never do.
It's like this is, you can see right here, right now. Yeah, no, that seems like a good place for a really, what do they call it? The nerds call it a 50% retracement.
Sure.
It's like, well, let's do the 50% retracement, you see, off the 618, and then we masturbate. It's like that's kind of what that's the kind of feel, and kind of would coincide with a lot of things. But it's like the unfortunate part about it when I look at your chart and I look at these lines and how they kind of intersect, things can get really, really messy, man.
Sure.
Really messy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So with all that being in mind, that the concept of being nimble and being sharp and paying attention, we have a Fed speaker after hours today. I believe Brainerd speaks 15 minutes after close. Depending on the action today, we could see, maybe the slightest sniff at a dovish comment that could bring in at least some sideways action. It's like we have to understand is like we spilled off of Powell saying he coming for everybody's ass. So if we can get some dovish commentary, that's going to change that just a little bit. And those are the kind of breadcrumbs that we have to be looking for. We have to be looking for those breadcrumbs and being very, very aware of them. So with all that being said, I don't have anything else. I know that I have certain levels on tickers that I'm looking for. SoFi in particular has already come to one of those levels. I will be watching flow and watching the activity over there to go ahead and build out, a very, very strong common position on that around the $6 level down to 550. I'm prepared to buy and add throughout all that. So that's going to be one of my focuses today, as well as getting a feel for everything else. Bender, Stockington, do you guys have anything else?
I don't think so.
Guys, I can't say it enough. Environments like this are what actually make you a trader. And I can't think of a better crew to walk into in a day and environment with than a crew like this. When you have Bender's brain in the game with the lines and the charts and just the understanding of the market dynamics, you got dumbass Stockington over there, and you have my retarded brain, and plus all the wise people within this room. We're in the best position to capitalize and win. So let's keep that in mind. Let's work together as a team. Let's be very, very focused. Pay attention to some of the things that Sun is posting here in chat as far as news throughout the day that is almost always actionable. This is the squad. This is the team. And the members within this room are what make it special. So thank you again. Let's get mentally positioned to dominate the day. Let's have some fun. Thank you, Bender. Thank you, Mr. Stockington.
See you soon.